I wanted to talk to you about my new book, Overcoming the Spirit of Heaviness. I wanted to share with you so people are not confused that this is not about depression. Depression, in a sense, to it could be a chemical unbalance, bipolar, or usually the general part of depression is sadness and negative thinking, negative emotions, and things like that. Well, the spirit of heaviness is not that. It's not really pertaining to your everyday life. The spirit of heaviness, I just want to, make sure. The spirit of heaviness is mainly dealing with you and Elohim's God relationship. And so that's what I want to touch on. So, the spirit of heaviness from Isaiah 61, verse 3 says, it talks about the spirit of heaviness. And the spirit of heaviness is when you are you have given your life to God, but you have no movement. You fasting, you're praying, you're sowing seeds, you're paying tithes if you're a tither, you're watching ministry, or you're going to church, and you are living your life to the best of your ability, right? And nothing changed. Nothing is moving. Nothing. And your soul begins to feel a certain way. You can't really put your finger. This is hurting my neck trying to get out of this clip. um, you are. You can't put your finger on it. You cannot really explain it, and it's not as something that's in your emotions. It's something within your soul where you feel like your soul is broken. You feel like your soul is like just crushed. And that is the spirit of heaviness, because this part of your soul is feeling like God doesn't love me. God doesn't hear me. Where is God? Like I'm ready to give up on God. Is there a God? Why doesn't He answer me? I am living my life to the best of my ability for Him. What is going on? And then you come to that point, like I stated before, like there must not be no God. I must not be living right. I must not be doing things right. I must not heard from God correctly. The prophetic words never have came to pass, so there must be something wrong with me, because I know they are true women of God and true prophets of God. And so therefore, what is going on with me? Why is my life feeling like this? I'm feeling hopeless. I'm feeling unloved by God, unwanted by God, unneeded by God. Where is God in this moment? Where is God at the time that I need Him, at the time that I want Him, at the time that I feel unloved by Him? And so that is the spirit of heaviness, because we feel that God has abandoned us. We feel that God doesn't love us. And some of us come to the point where we really feel that there is no God. And we don't want to hear another sermon about the same stuff. We don't want to hear anyone talk about hope and faith in God and stand strong and have faith and you can do it. We don't want to hear that anymore. We don't want to hear, oh, it must be your belief system. It must be your faith system. It must be something that you are doing wrong. When you know and God know that you are having faith and you are believing and you are walking upright to the best of your ability, you know what you are doing, and nothing is changing. Nothing is coming to pass, no prophetic words, anything. Your money you sowing and praying over as you sow is not bearing fruit. Your fasting is not bearing fruit. It's not breaking anything, nothing. That is the spirit of heaviness. And that is between you and God. And usually it comes from two places. Satan telling you God doesn't love you. God doesn't believe in you. There is no God. Kill yourself and die. Where is God? You can't hear God. Where is he at? Where is he at? There is no God. I'm telling you, there is no God. Or it could come from you because you wanted God to answer you at a particular time, at a particular moment. You sowed a seed and wanted the seed to produce, manifest itself in your life that same day. You fasted and you wanted to receive results how you wanted to see them. You wanted to have a breakthrough when you needed to have a breakthrough, when you thought that it was best for you. You became your own God and you began to, well, he didn't answer me this way. He didn't answer me that way. He didn't do this and he didn't do that. So you like, wait a minute. Maybe God doesn't love me. Maybe there is no God. Maybe I'm not chosen by God. Maybe I'm not walking upright. Maybe I. And when you become I, then you become your own God. Now, true enough, we are gods. Psalms 82, verse 6, we are gods. And we are little gods, but sometimes we create idols that where we are big gods on our hearts, and we become our own idols, because what God does for us, he don't owe us anything, and he don't have to do anything. He does it out of the love that he has for his children. And when we begin to think that God is obligated to do certain things, and when it doesn't happen in our time frame, we become hurt and sad in our souls, and we become depressed towards God, feeling like, well, maybe he don't love us. Well, maybe he don't hear me. Well, maybe there isn't a God. All these years, nothing has changed in my life. It's not all the time about a generational curse or patterns you have in your life. Like me, I had generational curses and I have patterns, and I was placed on an evil altar, and I explained that in my book. But sometimes you're feeling this way because your soul is sad. You have the spirit of heaviness because of the things that you were expecting God to do. And sometimes it's not always about I, me. Sometimes God places you in a desert place, not to test your faith, not to, like remove you and position you, prepare you for greater. Sometimes we go through the spirit of heaviness because of God wants to know, do you truly love him, or you're doing the things that you are doing for material things for him to bless you? Because some people, you have to hear what I'm saying by the spirit of Elohim. Some people, greatness is gonna come from the love of God. It's not gonna come from your works, your ability, your gifts, or your talents. It's gonna come purely by the love that you have for him. And when you are in the spirit of heaviness, you have to put on a garment of praise. You have to put on a garment of praise regardless of how that heaviness came in. You have to love on God. You have to